I don't want to be strong like man who look pretty. I want to be strong like bitch that fight bears in the forest.
Welcome to another episode of Bitch vs. Bear with your hosts, me, Sydney, and Amber.
Me?
Co-owners of Show and Trading Co. This opening is just a little unhinged. This is a show where we bitch, laugh, and shout about all things fitness and wellness related to women in the LGBTQIA plus community.
Are you sure?
I had a pineapple one in my mouth that's just a little weird because, you know, pineapple.
We had popsicles
attacks.
between episode recordings.
Get to the episode.
Do we need to introduce this at all, or are we just diving right in?
I mean, I
Okay.
can introduce it if you'd like.
It's fine. We can just dive in.
Okay.
I don't know what it's about.
Well, I
So we're
guess
going to find out in real
you
time.
and our listeners will find out all at the same time.
All right. In the intricate tapestry of our lives, the most persistent and intimate companion we have is our inner voice. I call that my inner demon. This internal dialogue, often playing in the background of our consciousness, shapes our perceptions, decisions, and overall well-being. It is the ever-present force influencing how we interpret our experiences, interact with others, and understand ourselves. Whether it whispers words of encouragement or echoes of self-doubt, our inner voice profoundly impacts every facet of our existence.
Yes.
It's a beautiful opener.
Thank you. I thank you. What this episode is about is embracing that inner dialogue. Or, as I like to say, befriending our inner voice.
Love it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not just an exercise in like self-awareness. It's really figuring out like how to get to self-acceptance and like in personal growth. We talk a lot about that on here.
Yeah.
And I think we've mentioned several times in like, oh, our inner voice says things about us that we would never vocalize to like our best friends or family. Like we would never be like, oh my God, you look awful today, or you're so fat. Like, but our inner voice says that to us.
Constantly. That bitch.
Yeah. So I wanted to do an episode about kind of how to befriend that voice.
Okay.
It's
Great.
going to involve, you know, recognizing the nature of our inner dialogue, understanding where its origins come from, like why is it a bitch sometimes, or a demon in your case, and maybe transforming it into from a potential adversary into a supportive ally. Our inner voice should be our biggest ally.
We love allies.
Yeah. So this will require us to confront our deepest fears and insecurities and beliefs, and to approach them with compassion and empathy. That's how you befriend it.
But we're not doing that here on this show, right?
No, this is not a therapy session, but
Great.
we're going to talk about kind of understanding some of those things and like how to go about befriending your inner
Love
voice.
it. I'm excited. Okay. All right. So by understanding, embracing, and ultimately empowering this inner dialogue, we can foster a more harmonious and fulfilling existence. Embracing our inner voice means acknowledging its presence without judgment, allowing us to observe and understand our thoughts and feelings more clearly. Empowering our inner voice involves actively working to transform negative self-talk into positive affirmations, fostering a sense of self-worth and confidence,
Yeah.
which we talked about last episode.
Yeah.
Love it.
This journey of befriending our inner voice is essential for our mental health and emotional well-being.
Yeah.
It allows us to build resilience, navigate challenges with grace, and cultivate a deeper sense of inner peace.
Love it. Love it.
As we embark on this path together and also separately, we will learn to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding we so readily offer others. Because that's what we do. Like,
Yeah.
we're much kinder to our
Yeah.
friends and other people than we are to ourselves. And really, this is paving the way for a more compassionate and enriched life.
Awesome.
Yeah. And this isn't like a one step and we're done kind of
What?
thing. Just throw that out there in case everyone was like, oh my God, I'm going to embrace my inner dialogue and befriend my demon, and I only have to do it one time.
I'm going to listen to this one episode and it's going to fix everything.
Yeah, exactly. No.
Is that not what we're doing?
No.
Okay. All right. So first, let's start by understanding the inner voice. The inner voice, often referred to as self-talk, is the stream of thoughts that run continuously through our minds, the background chatter, if you will. It serves as a background commentary on our experiences, actions, and feelings. This voice can be either supportive and encouraging or critical and detrimental. The nature of this inner dialogue, is shaped by a variety of factors, including our upbringing, experiences, and inherent temperament.
Yeah. One of the things that we can do to help embrace or befriend our inner voice is positive self-talk.
Ah, yes.
It can bolster our confidence, motivate us to achieve our goals, and help us navigate life's challenge with resilience. And these are all concepts that, if you haven't been listening to Bitch versus Bear, we talk about
A lot.
pretty consistently.
Yes.
And conversely, negative self-talk really undermines our self-esteem, creates self-doubt, and hinders our progress. Therefore, the first step towards befriending our inner voice is to recognize its dual nature and its significant impact on our mental and emotional well-being. Like, there's always a duality.
Yeah. It's mostly a bitch, but sometimes it can be nice.
Yeah. So embracing your inner voice involves acknowledging and accepting its presence without judgment, which we said before. You can't be like, "Meh, meh,
This bitch.
this bitch, this demon, it's ruining everything." The process is not about silencing or changing our inner dialogue immediately, which, again, this isn't the episode to be all end all. You can't be like, no, stop. But rather about recognizing it as an integral part of our mental landscape. It's that background chatter. It's always going to be there, and the duality is always going to be there. To embrace our inner voice, we must approach it with an open heart and mind. I know. And allowing ourselves to listen to what it has to say without reacting impulsively or harshly. So thinking of
That can be
it,
hard
like,
sometimes.
I'm not saying in your mind have dual conversations with yourself. That is not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, like, when you start to hear that talk, like, listen to it and be like, okay, where is this coming from? You know, is this something that I learned? Is this from my upbringing? Is this just kind of like how I've always been? And then you can get a sense of like, okay, now I can move forward. I don't mean have a conversation with yourself sitting in the corner. No, you shut up. No, you shut up. Like, that's not what I'm saying about our inner voice.
Okay. All right. So next we are observing without judgment. So the key to this is mindfulness. The practice of being present and fully engaged in the current moment is a powerful tool for embracing our inner voice. Through mindfulness, we learn to observe our thoughts and feelings without becoming entangled and absorbed in them. This detachment does not imply indifference, but rather a compassionate curiosity. By watching our thoughts pass by like clouds in the sky, we can notice patterns in our inner dialogue and identify recurring themes without being overwhelmed.
Yeah.
It's key. You don't want to be overwhelmed.
I really like that idea of like, identifying, being like, in this situation, my inner voice always responds in the exact same way. It's like, oh, right. Okay. That's a trend.
I mean, it's something we practice in mindfulness in Savasana. Like, thoughts come, you acknowledge them, you recognize them, and then you let them go. And like, I think that's part of this practice. Practicing mindfulness can take many forms, such as meditation, deep breathing exercises, or simply paying close attention to our daily activities. For example, during meditation, we can focus on our breath and gently bring our attention back whenever our mind starts to wander, as it does. This practice helps us become more aware of our thoughts and trains us to observe them without immediate judgment or reaction, or like tangenting off with them.
Yes.
Right? Like, I think that's a thing that happens to me a lot. Like, a thought comes and I'm like, oh, let's continue on that rabbit hole. It's like, it doesn't need to happen.
It's like,
So it's a good practice.
It's like going through YouTube.
Yeah.
And your thought and you're like, I'm searching this thing on YouTube, but then you see another video over here that's like, ooh, that's kind of fun, and then you follow that, and then somehow you have gone 6 videos away from the thing you started searching YouTube for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my head.
Mine too.
Yeah.
The other way is introspection. The process of examining our own thoughts and feelings is the next step in embracing our inner voice. Through introspection, we delve deeper into the origins of our thoughts, seeking to understand the underlying beliefs and experiences that shape our self-talk. Because sometimes I think we don't realize we hold a belief until that chatter starts and you're like, I didn't really know that I felt that way. I had never considered it.
Yeah.
Yeah. This part, I think, really requires a lot of courage and honesty with ourselves, as it often involves confronting painful memories and uncomfortable truths about ourselves. Like, this is,
Fair.
I think, the part where most people would get hung up. Because you're like,
Yeah.
Again, I
don't want to approach
I did not know that about myself. Like, it's like the old, what was it? The guy who did the bit, the tater salad guy. Did you ever see him, the comedian?
Tater salad. Oh gosh, was that Ron White?
Yes. And he does the whole bit about, like, heterosexual men watching watching porn. And he's
I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah, and he's like talking about this whole thing, and he's like, "What? Well, what? You like to see like a flaccid penis?" And he's like, "No, I like to see a long, rock hard dick ramming." I did not know that about myself. Like, it's one of those things where you don't realize how you're thinking until you really start to like verbalize it, and then you're like, "Oh, I just learned something." And sometimes that thing is not what you expect. Really, once we've embraced our inner voice, the next step is to empower it.
Not giving that bit. Demon gets no more power.
But if it's nice, you have to empower it.
All right.
Empowerment involves transforming our inner dialogue from potential adversary to our supportive ally.
Okay.
This transformation requires deliberate effort and practice. You can't just be like, that bitch, and then just let it keep doing its thing.
I don't
You have
understand.
to exercise it.
Fine. All right. Sounds like a lot of work.
Yes, this episode is about a lot of work.
I liked the last episode better.
We've gone from
It was
like
just fun.
everything's on fire to, hey, it's fun to dress pretty. I like pretty
Let's talk
things.
about clothes and accessories.
Let's talk about clothes and accessories. And this one is like the inner demons. They're coming for you.
So first, we're going to talk about how to put out the world on fire.
Yeah. And then we're going
Then we're going to talk about some body positivity.
Yeah.
All right. So one effective strategy is to challenge negative thoughts and reframe them in a more positive or constructive light. Cognitive behavioral techniques, such as cognitive restructuring, can be particularly useful in this regard. Reminder, we are not mental health professionals.
But if you would like to seek one, you should. And
They can very much help with this.
yeah, cognitive behavior therapy is a thing.
It is.
Yeah.
For example, if your inner voice tells you, I can't do this, you can challenge this thought by asking for evidence and counter examples, and then reframe it to, this is challenging, but I can try my best and learn from the experience.
Yeah. I mean, just that simple change can make a huge difference. And like, it's not that hard to do. It's like, I can't do this. Wait. Hold on. Okay, this is gonna be tough.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna just try my best. And if I don't succeed, that's okay. I'll just learn from it. Makes it so much more palatable. And the bitch becomes nice.
I don't know. When I'm halfway up the wall on a really hard route, that demon is hot and tired.
Hot and tired.
And
Well-
absolutely telling me I cannot do it. And I am too hot and tired to argue with it.
Fair. Maybe you could use the other powerful tool, which
Oh.
is self-compassion.
Oh, that is a good tool.
Yes. by treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer a friend, we can create a more nurturing internal environment. Because generally speaking, we will let our friend come down off the wall. Okay.
We both know. None of us do that.
That's true. Bad example. Self-compassion involves recognizing our shared humanity, acknowledging that everyone experiences difficulties, and being gentle with ourselves in the face of mistakes or setbacks.
That's good.
Yeah. Befriending ours, yours, everyone's inner voice yields numerous benefits.
I don't want to befriend your inner voice. I think that's a little too much for me.
My inner voice is wonderful. Befriending your inner voice really enhances self-awareness. It allows us to understand ourselves better and make more informed decisions, which we can all agree is a good thing.
Yeah.
It fosters resilience. We know how much we like resilience, or
It's
I
important.
like resilience.
I don't like what you have to do to get resilient, but I think it's important.
Because really, resilience enables us to bounce back from adversity with greater ease. And one of the reasons that we have this podcast is because we do face adversity. And so many other people would face much more adversity than we do.
Yes.
So, inner dialogue. Okay. It also promotes emotional well-being, as a supportive inner dialogue can reduce stress, anxiety, and depression. And we've talked, I don't know how many times on the podcast about the rise of those things and why they're here and what they do and why that. So,
It's good.
make your inner dialogue your friend and you can lower those things. And anything we can
Wouldn't
do
that
to
be
lower
nice?
those is a
Right.
good thing.
Oh my gosh.
Moreover, a positive relationship with our inner voice can improve our relationship with others. And I would say that, most of us can agree that we're, social beings at some level, even
Sometimes.
though we, after the pandemic, some of us kind of become a little more recluse. When we're kind and understanding towards ourselves, we tend to be more kind and understanding and compassionate and empathetic to those around us. I would say that we probably need a lot more of that, especially here in the United States.
Yes.
And we would like to have a little more harmonious, maybe united is a good word, and fulfilling relationships.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Could call it that.
we could call it that. This is a transformative journey that requires patience, mindfulness, and self-compassion. It's not a one step and you're done. It's not like, okay, hey, inner voice. Yep, no, we're best friends now. Yeah, you're gonna stop being a bitch. Okay, good. And then we're done. Like, that's not how
What
this
do you
works.
mean?
No.
That was my plan for after we recorded.
Just sitting in
Sit
the
down, have a little convo, and then be done.
That'd be done. It's a little more involved.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an ongoing commitment, we shall say.
Okay.
Yeah. An ongoing commitment to understand, embrace, and empower those internal conversations that shape our daily lives. It's
Fine.
Gotta put in a little work.
All right.
It's not gonna be a quick fix. Some might say it's gonna be a lifelong practice.
Huh. Yeah. Well.
But if you do it, it can profoundly enhance the rest of your life.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Get right on that.
Get right on that. Go have it. I can just see you now sitting in your rocking chair in the corner. Just, yep. No, you're not going to talk to me that way anymore.
Sid says you can't say that.
That's mean. I don't know why I have to close my eyes and touch my temple, but that's the sign.
That's how you.
That's
talk
how
to
I'm
your
talking to my inner voice.
Can you have your inner voice talk to my inner voice and tell her to stop being a jerk?
No. You have to do it.
Fine.
Okay, what is one thing that you would like to tell your inner voice?
I don't know. You didn't put the question down in the template.
I didn't.
I didn't have time to think about it.
Just off the cuff. What do you hear yourself say a lot to yourself? This is a fun exercise.
This is a horrible exercise because my inner dialogue is horrific. And you know that.
Episode 93 is for you, Amber.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What's one nice thing you'll say to yourself for the rest of the week? Like starting
the rest
this
of the week. Oh
yeah.
gosh.
Just put it in 7-day time frame.
Let's see. Oh gosh. What am I going to tell myself? I am going to tell myself that I am proud of you for recommitting to regular and strenuous exercise.
I like the strenuous part that you had to throw in there. Yeah.
Well, because like taking Gracie for a walk is exercise.
Yeah.
But I've recommitted to more strenuous strength building
Yes.
exercise.
Okay. I like that. Yeah. Good job.
Thank you.
I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And when your inner demon says, I don't want to do it, what are you gonna say?
Let's go get a popsicle.
After our strenuous exercise. Right. Okay. Good job. Good job. I'm proud of you. It's a work in progress. It's a lifelong commitment.
It really is.
All right. Do you have anything to add?
Not to that. Do you want me to close?
Sure.
Did you want to talk about your inner?
My inner voice is quite nice.
Well, that's
We've
nice
had
for you.
we've had a long time talking to each other and talking about the things we're not going to say and be mean to ourselves. You wonder why I'm so positive all the time. I had a lot of time to be practicing mindfulness in the backcountry
That's
with like
true.
14-year-olds who I had to teach a lot of things to. Like I did a lot of reflection. I was alone with my thoughts for a long time. Like there are
That's
some
fair.
benefits.
Yeah.
Where, I spent many, many years just at the back of a very slow moving hike being like, you can't do this. No, you can do this. You have to do this. You have to climb up the rocks. I know they're dumb. Yes, they ate all the food. You won't starve to death. You're fine.
Remember, you have Snickers in your backpack.
Yeah, exactly. So like I'm pretty good at this. I
I just see
practice it.
Sid leaning against a tree talking to her inner.
It's not. That's not far off. Leaning against a tree with my eyes closed, being like, "Nope, you're doing great. You're doing great. Yes, yes, your feet are wet. Yes, you smell. It's okay. There's nobody around you. They all smell too. I've practiced talking to my
And they're
inner voice.
teenage boys, so they smell worse.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, at least I'm not a 15-year-old boy in the backcountry with no shower and no deodorant. Like,
Oh,
yeah, I've had a lot of time embracing my inner dialogue. It's how I stay so positive all the time because I'm like, I've already had this conversation.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, rate, or leave a review on your favorite podcast platform.
You could leave it on our favorite one too.
What is your favorite podcast platform?
Spotify, but I have Spotify Premium, so that's where
Well, me
I-
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how we have a podcast on Spotify.
Yeah, because like there are a lot of streaming platforms out there. If somebody was like, you have to cut everything but one, goodbye Netflix,
Yeah,
goodbye Disney
Spotify,
Plus, I would keep
100%.
Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So go leave a comment, go leave a review,
Interact in
DM
some
us.
way.
I don't know. Do something. And that's a wrap. So remember, whether you're lifting weights or lifting each other up, maybe lifting up that internal dialogue, let's keep breaking barriers, building strength, and embracing our rainbow of resilience. Until next time, bitches and bears, stay fierce and stay fabulous.